July 20th, 1969, a date that changed humanity forever. It was a day that would be etched into the annals of history, a day when the impossible became possible. On this day, the world watched, united, as our gaze turned skyward to the moon. People from all walks of life, from every corner of the globe, were glued to their screens, sharing a moment of collective wonder. For millennia, the moon was a mystery, a distant dream. It was a celestial body that inspired myths, legends, and countless stories. Now it was within reach, no longer just a distant orb in the night sky. Across the globe, people gathered around televisions and radios, sharing a moment of collective anticipation. The air was thick with excitement and nervous energy as everyone waited for the historic event to unfold. The grainy images of the lunar module, the eagle descending, became a new kind of scripture. These images were more than just pictures. They were symbols of human ingenuity and perseverance. The calm voices of Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins echoed through the static, carrying the hopes of all humanity. Their words were a beacon of hope and a testament to human courage. These astronauts were more than explorers. They were our emissaries, venturing into the unknown for us all. They carried with them the dreams and aspirations of an entire planet. Borders, politics, and ideologies faded. For a brief moment, we were simply Earthlings. The moon landing was a unifying event, reminding us of our shared humanity and our collective potential. The tension was palpable as alarms blared and fuel ran low during the final descent. Every second felt like an eternity as the world held its breath, waiting for the outcome. The fate of the mission, and perhaps the future of exploration, hung by a thread. It was a moment of high stakes and immense pressure, where every decision mattered. On Earth, we could only watch and wait, passive witnesses to our greatest adventure. The suspense was almost unbearable as we hoped for a successful landing. Then, through the crackle, came the words, "The Eagle has landed." These words signaled not just a successful mission, but a monumental achievement for all of humanity. Relief and joy swept the planet, a collective exhale after holding our breath. The world erupted in celebration, united in a moment of pure elation. We had witnessed the climax of a story that began with our ancestors gazing at the night sky. This was the culmination of centuries of curiosity and exploration. The moon was no longer just a symbol. It was a place we had touched. It became a tangible part of our human experience, forever changing our perspective. In that instant, humanity stepped into a larger cosmos. We had taken our first steps beyond our home planet, opening the door to infinite possibilities. The impossible had become real. The moon landing was a testament to what we can achieve when we dare to dream and work together. The moon landing was born from the fires of the Cold War, a time when the world was divided not just by ideology, but by a profound sense of uncertainty and fear. It was a contest of power between the United States and the Soviet Union. Two superpowers locked in a relentless struggle for dominance on every front, military, political, and technological. The space race became a high-stakes duel, with the moon as the ultimate prize, a symbol of victory that would echo across the globe. The Soviets struck first with Sputnik, launching the world's first artificial satellite and shocking the world, igniting a wave of American urgency and anxiety. They followed with more historic firsts: the first animal in orbit, the first human to journey into space, and the first daring spacewalk, each achievement raising the stakes higher. America seemed to lag behind, its pride wounded and its technological reputation on the line, as the world watched and wondered if it could catch up. The response came from President John F. Kennedy, who boldly stood before the nation and promised to land a man on the moon before the decade's end, a challenge that would define a generation. At the time, the technology to achieve this audacious goal didn't exist. It had to be imagined, designed, and built from scratch by teams of visionary scientists and engineers. The Apollo program mobilized over 400,000 people and thousands of companies, uniting the nation in a single, unprecedented effort. It became the most ambitious scientific undertaking in history, pushing the boundaries of what humanity thought possible. The official goal was clear: demonstrate American supremacy and fulfill a president's promise, showing the world the power of democracy and innovation. But beneath the politics and engineering, something deeper was at play, a yearning to explore, to reach beyond our limits, and to unite in pursuit of the unknown. The story we know is one of rivalry and achievement, of nations competing for glory and technological triumph. Yet, is that the whole story? Or is there more hidden beneath the surface of history books and museum displays? Was the moon landing just a victory in a geopolitical game? A move in a global chess match between superpowers? Or was it something more? A leap for all humankind, a moment that inspired generations to dream bigger and reach higher? The answer lies beyond the textbooks, in the hearts and imaginations of those who dared to look up and wonder what might be possible. What if the moon landing was more than a political or scientific milestone? What if it echoed ancient rituals? Humanity has always marked great moments with ceremony, rites that connect us to something larger. The Apollo 11 mission mirrored the hero's journey, a perilous quest to a sacred place, undertaken by chosen emissaries. The return with lunar rocks resembled the bringing back of holy relics. This was not just technology, it was myth in motion. The language of science masked a primal impulse, to reach for the heavens, to touch the divine. Stepping onto the moon was like a high priest entering sacred ground. The mission became a planetary initiation, a ritual of transformation for all humanity. In reaching the moon, we enacted an ancient story on a cosmic scale. Names have power, and NASA's choices were no accident. The program was called Apollo, after the god of light, knowledge, and prophecy, a symbol of enlightenment and the quest for understanding. The rocket was Saturn V, named for the ancient titan of time and limitation. Apollo represents reason and the pursuit of knowledge. Saturn, the heavy forces to be overcome. The journey to the moon was a symbolic drama, Saturn's raw power propelling Apollo's enlightened mission. It was a story of transcending earthly constraints to seek illumination. This was more than engineering. It was poetry, a modern myth written in fire and steel. The very names invoked ancient forces, linking our technological triumph to timeless archetypes. In conquering Saturn, Apollo soared. The moon landing became a new chapter in humanity's mythic quest. Our journey was as much about meaning as it was about machinery. Symbolism was woven into every detail of Apollo 11, from the mission's earliest designs to the final moments on the lunar surface. Every element was chosen with care, meant to speak not just to Americans, but to the entire world. The mission patch showed an eagle, representing strength, courage, and national pride, landing gently on the moon. In its talons, it carried an olive branch, the ancient symbol of peace, signifying that this journey was not an act of dominance, but a peaceful step forward for humanity. The message was clear. This was not conquest, but a gesture of peace for all mankind. The astronauts' actions on the moon reflected this spirit, as they saluted not just their own nation, but the hopes of people everywhere. The Earth, a blue marble suspended above the grey lunar horizon, reminded us of our shared home, fragile, beautiful, and united beneath one sky. The astronauts carried with them flags from over 135 nations, a powerful gesture of inclusion. They also brought a tiny silicon disc, etched with messages of goodwill from 73 countries, a symbol of global unity and hope for the future. Before leaving, they placed a plaque on the lunar module. Its inscription read, "We came in peace for all mankind," a promise and a declaration to all who might one day visit. Even the use of AD on the plaque grounded the event in centuries of human tradition, linking this new chapter to the long story of civilization. These symbols left on the moon's surface told a story to the world, and perhaps one day to the cosmos itself. The mission's artifacts became modern hieroglyphs, silent witnesses marking a turning point in human history and inviting future generations to remember this moment. Every gesture, every object was a message of unity and hope, a reminder that our greatest achievements are possible when we come together. The moon became a canvas for our highest aspirations, reflecting not just where we had been but where we might go, together. Beneath the surface, Apollo 11 carried echoes of ancient brotherhoods. Buzz Aldrin, a Freemason, performed a private Masonic ceremony on the moon, consecrating it as Masonic territory. Other astronauts, too, were Masons, builders in both stone and space. The symbolism of light, knowledge, and sacred geometry resonated with the mission's goals. For some, the moon landing was not just a government project, but a spiritual quest, ritual hidden within spectacle. The timing of the moon landing held cosmic significance. On July 20th, 1969, the sun was in Cancer, the sign ruled by the moon, symbolizing home and origins. Humanity left its home to visit the celestial mother at a moment of perfect astrological resonance. Jupiter, planet of expansion, aligned with Regulus, the royal star, suggesting triumph and discovery. NASA didn't consult astrologers, but the synchronicity is striking. Physics guided the mission, yet the stars seemed to bless it. Perhaps the universe speaks in many languages, science and symbolism alike. The moon landing became a cosmic homecoming marked by both calculation and mystery. The heavens and humanity moved in harmony for one unforgettable moment. Seen through an anthropologist's eyes, Apollo 11 was a global ritual. The launch was a pillar of fire, a modern sacred flame lifting emissaries skyward. On the moon, the planting of the flag echoed ancient rites of claiming new ground. But this flag and the plaque spoke for all mankind. The world watched, 650 million people united in awe. The television became our altar, the astronauts our high priests. Lunar rocks returned as relics revered and shared. The mission followed the arc of a rite of passage: separation, transition, return. Humanity was changed, transformed by the journey. The moon landing was a ceremony for the entire planet. Was the moon landing a feat of science or modern magic? In truth, it was both. The Apollo program was a triumph of engineering driven by politics and reason. Every step was calculated, every risk measured. Yet, humans are storytellers. We infuse our achievements with meaning. The names, symbols, rituals, and even the timing became part of a larger narrative. Science and myth converged, rockets became ritual, data became legend. The moon landing fused fact and wonder, calculation and awe. It showed that science can be a path to the sacred. Apollo 11 was both a technical achievement and a sacred story. On July 20th, 1969, we reached for the moon and touched something divine. The event remains both a scientific fact and a mythic milestone. In that moment, humanity's reach and imagination became one.